Now joined by Arizona coach Jay Johnson. Please raise your hands if you have questions for Coach Johnson. Ari Kozlow, go ahead.
The catch by Dante Williams in I think it was the second inning, I believe. How big was that to keep that extra run from scoring and keeping at a 4-0 lead for Grand Canyon?
Huge play. I think we sometimes take it for granted. There was a lot of important plays in that game last night, but you wanted to keep it at 4, especially with a quality pitcher like Ole going tonight and their bullpen.
It was a record-breaking crowd for a college baseball game at High Corbett tonight. What was that atmosphere like for you and the whole team?
Perfect.
Michael Lev, go ahead.
So we've talked about Dante's catches, and it's sort of impossible to rank them or whatever. But in terms of the importance of this particular one, is it maybe rise to the top of the list?
Yep. He was the Jim Thorpe Award winner on that play. And then I think had a few big hits, would put him in contention for the Heisman.
So you relied on 2 freshman relievers to come in pretty high leverage situations tonight. How much faith do you have in Riley Cooper and TJ Nichols, and how do you feel they performed tonight?
Ton of faith in them. They performed great relative to the results. I don't think either of them gave up a earned run. TJ might have had one on the back end after we took him out, but great performance. I think there was a couple key plays in the game. Getting the double play ball with first and third was huge because they had a leadoff triple or a runner at third base with no outs that did not score. And I really felt like the momentum of the game swung back to our dugout at that time.
Ryan Peterson, go ahead.
While the entire lineup ended up contributing in the long run, your first 6 runs came from the bottom 4 of the lineup, the guys that didn't get the accolades this week, Pac-12, All-American. As important as the top of the order has been this year, where would you guys have been in this game if the bottom of the order wasn't getting things started?
Well, I just casually looked up at the board and saw they were like 7 for 8 at one point in time. And I was like, man, let's just let these guys hit the whole game. We'll be in good shape. And really good contribution by those guys. Tony's swinging the bat as good as any player in the country right now. Ryan had, I thought, quality at bats. And then Tanner Otrimba, outstanding game tonight, obviously. And then Nick doing his thing, turning the lineup over. So we just want to, an all-out assault of quality at bats 1 through 9. And I think tonight's game was right in line with our blueprint.
Tanner hadn't gotten a start since about the middle of April and hadn't had a hit since a game before that. I think he was 0 for 9 or 0 for 12, something like that coming in. What was the reason for him getting this opportunity?
I believe in Tanner. He's a great player. I brought him here because I knew he'd make a significant contribution to our team. He did and has. You think about 2 pivotal series and us winning the Pac-12 championship, Oregon and Cal. He was Oregon and Arizona State. He was right in the middle of all of that. And the bottom line is he would probably have 300 at-bats on just about any team in the country. This team is the best offensive team in college baseball, and he's a great player, and the best is yet to come for him here. And I think tonight was an example of that. Just believe in him and gut feeling. It started to kind of creep in around Wednesday. I let him know yesterday that that's what I was thinking, and it was awesome to see him compete the way he did tonight.
Thank you.
Back to Michael Lev.
When it was 4-0 in their favor so early in this game, what was kind of the feeling in the dugout at that point?
We needed to stop them from scoring. I mean, it was pretty much as simple as that. And I started working some contingency plans with the pitching to do that. And, Chase held it together. We got the 0 in the third. And then we're getting back in the game. I think it was 4-3 at that point. We got the 2 runs in the second, and then Tony got that 2-out hit after Kobe's 2-out triple to make it 4-3, and then the leadoff guy was on. I felt like we needed to switch the momentum of the game, and I thought Riley did a good job of doing that. I will give our players credit, particularly the position players. They stayed in the plan against Ole, which we had to do, because if you give a pitcher like that an inch, they'll take a mile. And we didn't deviate from the plan or start panic hitting, and allowed us to get back in the game and where we needed to be.
Yeah, I know you probably haven't given UC Santa Barbara much thought, but that's who's next on the list here. They played a lot of small ball today, bunting, aggressive base running, et cetera. Is there a Pac-12 team that they kind of resemble in terms of their style of play?
Well, we're familiar with them. We've been working on them all week. We've been working on all three teams all week. Obviously, the bulk of the prep went into Grand Canyon, but I'm going to head to Dunkin' Donuts here in a minute. It's the only coffee place open in Tucson after this hour, and tie the loose ends. But to specifically answer your question, Michael, they do a good job of executing. There's a safety squeeze in there. They immediately went with the double steal right after, I think, the review right of that play. And a couple other stolen bases in there, drag bunt hit, and they put a lot of pressure on Oklahoma State today, and that's their game, and they're playing as a really confident team right now. So it's gonna be awesome tomorrow night. Should be a great crowd again. Two really quality teams going against each other, and exactly what you envision this regional to be, and we'll be prepared.
And we'll finish up with Ari Kozlow.
You decided to leave Gil Luna in the 8th inning with the lead being cut down to 1 run with Vanelli in the bullpen. Was there any thought of bringing in Vanelli once the lead cut to 7-6, or were you riding with Luna for that last out of the inning?
When he got the last out, that was his last hitter because it was Burton and it was a matchup situation. We were going to go to a reliever if it got to Wilson right there.
And after a big series to close the regular season for Tony Bullard that continued into tonight, what did you see from him tonight?
He's a great player. I mean, he's a pretty highly sought after recruit when we got him. He's developed. He had a good freshman season in 19 when, again, we had the best offense in the country. Tony was a big part of that at the end of the season. Got off to kind of a slow start with COVID. Got off to a slow start this year, but has persevered, has continued to work, and I think you're really seeing, that talent turn into skill, and him be a guy I like seeing come up to the plate an awful lot right now.
And we'll squeeze in one more. Shotgun Spratling, you're next.
Hey, Jay, you talk about having the best offense in the country. How important is it finding guys to fill particular roles at the bottom of the order so that the lineup is so long? Guys like Nick that turn the lineup over. How important is it finding guys that can fit particular roles at that bottom half?
Yeah, we want to play complementary baseball. I want to build a team that has, speed, power, solid hitting skills, and most importantly, plate discipline. It's pretty simple in terms of its concepts, but we have talented guys that play to those concepts very, very well. And they all have a different role, not where they're hitting necessarily, but where they come up in the inning and what's needed, to get the leadoff man on or be the engine of that inning. Or to, move the offense, or to execute in what we call in the red zone, hit mistakes, battle with 2 strikes. And I have faith in all of them. So that's why you've seen different guys in there at different times and different sets of orders and all of those types of things. It really kind of depends on the day, and it's gratifying to see so many guys contribute, and we're going to continue to need that as we go forward.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
We're now joined by Tanner Otremba. If you have questions, raise your hand. Start off with Michael Lev.
Hey there, Tanner. Jay said that I think yesterday he first kind of hinted that he might put you in the starting lineup. Is that something you were kind of thinking about all week? What was your kind of mindset heading into this opportunity that you got?
Yeah, I mean, Skip came up to me and he mentioned it, and I just said, "All right, it sounds good," and whatever he chooses, I always am for that for anyone. Casa Grande, Pa, if Bingham was healthy, just next man up. So yeah, definitely just excited to get the opportunity.
Can you walk us through your at bat where you hit the home run?
Yeah, he had just thrown a slider in the dirt, and they had been throwing some fastballs, and I was just sitting heater and caught one out front. So that's pretty much what happened.
Next up, Brian Peterson.
Tanner, this was the first start, I think, in about 6 weeks that you'd had. How did you keep yourself in tune and focused through that time when you weren't getting very many at bats to then when you did get the opportunity, almost make it like you'd been starting every game?
Yeah, I think it's important to stay in games when you're not playing and watch them and watch your teammates play and cheer them on. I think that completely helps you stay in games regardless of whether you're playing or not. And then I think the coaches do a really good job of giving us opportunities during the week, So when it comes down to the game, everyone should be ready to go in, and I think everyone is. So
Thank you.
Ari Kozlo, go ahead.
What was your viewpoint of Dante Williams' catch in the second inning that kept it within 4 runs?
I thought it was awesome. We all trust Dante out in center field. He's amazing. There's never a doubt for me when he dove and caught it. So I was pretty stoked, and I knew it was a huge play. And everything that comes that guy's way, he deserves.
It was a record-breaking crowd at High Corbett tonight. What was the atmosphere like for you and the whole team?
It was awesome. The fans are a huge part, especially with COVID occurring last year and this year. It's so awesome to see the fans, and I can't wait to see them tomorrow and the next day and the next week. We couldn't appreciate them more, so it was amazing.
Go back to Michael Lev.
Tanner, you're the only player on this team who had played in an NCAA tournament game before tonight. Did you have any words of wisdom or any advice for any of your teammates based on those experiences that you had?
We kind of joke about it sometimes and stuff, but when it comes down to it, I'll always just say have fun, because I think at the end of the day we're just playing the same game we've played for a long time. So before the game, when I was slapping hands with everyone, I just told them to have fun. So yeah, that was my message.
And was it fun?
It was a lot of fun.
Any more questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I love you.
Now joined by Arizona's Dante Williams. If you have any questions for Dante, raise your hand. Harrison, you're up first.
Hey Dante, so your catch in the second was huge with you guys being down 4-0 and kind of stopping the bleeding there. Are you looking to make those kind of plays to help kickstart the team?
Yeah, it's always cool to make a diving play. Whatever ball comes my way, I feel like I should catch, and it's just kind of giving that feeling to my team that I just put my body on the line for them. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, we can change the game in so many different ways, and I feel like defensive plays, just it creates energy for other defensive players, and going offensive wise too. Just gets the team going sometimes.
Next up, Michael Lev.
So it was a right-handed batter. So the ball was, curving away from you. out there. Can you just describe what you were looking at and how you went about attacking that ball?
I mean, I got a good first step off the bat. I was positioned really well, so I just balls hit in my general area. I just try to go until I can't go anymore. So most often, I mean, it's either the wall stopping me or somebody calls me off or something. So yeah, I'm just glad I caught the ball. Really.
Sure. Did you have a sense at that time that maybe your team needed a spark or some sort of turnaround?
No, I thought we were good the whole time. We've had plenty of games like that. I feel like it doesn't matter what happens previously. We'll always find a way to, put runs on the board, make pitches and stuff like that. So if I didn't catch that, I don't think the game turns out any differently. I think we do something in the dugout to get our energy up. We have a lot of great hitters, so I wouldn't say that catch turned the game around, honestly.
So Riley Cooper and TJ Nichols did a really good job after coming in for Chase of just kind of keeping the score where it was. What can you say about the maturity of those two freshmen on the mound?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, having the competitive nature. Just going out there, making their pitches, keeping one pitch at a time, and letting their defense trust them and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. They're not trying to do too much. They know their job. So, it's glad to have pitchers like that on the mound. You make plays for them, and they deserve what they're getting.
Ari Kozlo, go ahead.
The bottom of the lineup in Bullard and Tremba and McClory did a lot of the damage for your offense tonight. How big were they in getting you guys back in the game tonight?
Yeah, those guys they're great players, both pro players, and I feel like we have a lot of pro players on this team, and watching them every day, taking BP, the talks in the dugout, talks in the locker room about swings and stuff and approach, and it's just their hard work is paying off. Those dudes are phenomenal teammates and players. So I couldn't be more proud of them. Being able to stay within themselves and just help the team out. That's really it.
It was a record-breaking crowd at High Corbett tonight for a college baseball game. What was the atmosphere like from the start to the end?
It was great. I think we struck out the first batter, and all the fans of High C went crazy. And like I said the other day, the juice box was bumping.
Back to Michael Lev.
You waited something like 4 years to finally play in an NCAA tournament game. How would you describe what the experience was like?
Honestly, it was another game. I mean, I mentioned this the other day. We can't make any game bigger or smaller than what we previously made one. So I mean, it's baseball. We gotta throw strikes, hit the ball. So I mean, right when I went out to center, it was just a lot of fans and stuff, but we still got to play our game. It was definitely fun, but I mean, one game at a time. That's how I see it.
Sure. When it was 4-0 early in the game, what was the sense in the dugout?
None at all. I mean, we trust ourselves. We trust our pitchers. Pitchers trust the hitters. We're one team. So, we don't put any blame. So we just got closer as a team, got tighter, and figured out something to do. I mean, pass it to the next guy.
Any other questions for Dante? All right. Thank you, Dante.
Hey, you guys.
That's all we have for tonight. See y'all tomorrow.